The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
An incident to be tried. The country's sovereignty is of paramount importance when considering partnership with foreign countries. This is the concern raised by Vanimo Green MP Belden Nama in Parliament today, seeking clarification from Prime Minister James Marape on the free electricity connection to Wutung border from Indonesia.
Member for Vanimo Green, Belden Nama, has called on Prime Minister James Marape to explain process and procedures on how electricity have been supplied. To Wutung village in the border of Indonesia without consulting him. He said basic services like power and water supply is the sovereign responsibility of any government in the world. He said the government is focused on Connect PNG program and neglected such basic services in the country. Nama said allowing other countries to supply such basic services is undermining the country's sovereignty.
We just sold our land, our people, and our country to another government. By this action, are we admitting to our people and to the global community that we are incapable? And I said we are incapable of providing essential services to our people.
Nama also raised concerns that the government has never addressed outstanding issues with Indonesia and went ahead and proposed to partner with Indonesia for the supply of electricity.
I have raised concerns about Indonesian encroaching into our territorial waters and our land boundaries. I have raised issue about Indonesia building naval base in our territorial waters at the River Torasi in Western Province. I have raised issue about Indonesia building infrastructure and military base in River Tami and all the way to Wutung village. We as a government have not addressed those issues.
Prime Minister James Marape responded by assuring the people living along the border that the sovereignty of our country will not be compromised as our national interest will be protected. He further explained that the partnership merged between our neighboring countries will also open doors for investment opportunities and will never affect our country's sovereignty. He also pointed out that the government is, however, looking at the possibility seriously to give cheap and affordable power to the border provinces at an earliest.
At the moment, as you speak, 47 going 48 years now, soon to be 48 years old. As a country, we do not have as yet reliable power services, reliable infrastructure in all parts of our country, let alone Vanimo or Daru or the border areas as I speak. The border areas sadly have remained one of the enclaves or part of our country that is totally vacuum in terms of services that our people so deserve.
Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Meantime, Prime Minister James Marape said Vanimo is a very important province. The government is focusing on to deliver the downstream processing for timber. He assured the people of Vanimo that the government will do anything to bring services to them.
We want to really lift the border areas in terms of modern services at the very earliest. And so to find immediate temporary solution for power, for instance, Merauke has power. They run power 24 hours a day in Merauke. Jayapura has power. We had a look at this proposal to run power lines between Jayapura and Vanimo, and we could access cheap power temporarily until that hydro comes into play, or until we have generation space in power ourselves, and we could bring back and power our own city and our own towns. Mind you, Mr. Acting Speaker, Vanimo is a very, very strategic place. I appreciate the member's concern that it must have stepped up national interest and security in that place, that power conversation is a temporary conversation. And
Samantha Power, the head of USAID, is all set to visit PNG from August the 12th to the 14th, 2023. As the first USAID administrator to visit the country, Power's trip is highly anticipated. She leads USAID's effort in tackling global challenges such as climate crisis and poverty while empowering women and strengthening democracies. During her visit, Power will meet with government officials, community leaders, and private sector partners to discuss development initiatives. Her visit marks a crucial step in strengthening relations between the United States and Papua New Guinea in pursuit of common development goals. Service improvements on visa cards is a big task the Immigration and Citizenship Services Authority aims to tackle with a set of initiatives they introduced during the first ever immigration meeting earlier this week. Deputy Chief Migration Officer, Visa and Passports Division, Clarence Parisau, spoke about the initiatives that are currently implemented and are to be implemented shortly. A major task for the Immigration and Citizenship Services Authority is for service improvement in visa cards for PNG. ICSA aims to tackle with a set of initiatives they introduced during the first ever immigration meeting earlier this week. Deputy Chief Migration Officer, Visa and Passports Division, Clarence Parisau, spoke about the initiatives that are currently implemented and are to be implemented shortly.
I'm pleased to be able to share information about the initiatives ICA is implementing or is planning to implement shortly, which are designed to enhance services for our clients. Number one, the sponsor portal, which is one of those initiatives that we are taking. Number two is a dedicated mailing address for application, lodgements, and inquiries. One of our primary objectives was to improve communication and simplify the application, lodgement, and inquiry process for our clients. Another initiative is the automatic response on inquiry emails. And that's to provide our clients with a swift and informative response. We have also initiated the entertainment visa to go online. The entertainers who come in to participate in the PNG music industry will no longer have to go to the missions. They can stay wherever they are and at the comfort of their homes, lodge their visas to come to PNG. And finally, we are introducing an expanded online application status check. We understand the importance of transparency and keeping our clients informed about the status of their applications.
He added that these service improvements are a testament to the commitment to providing efficient and client-focused services.
We continually seek feedback from our clients and stakeholders to identify areas for improvement and refine our processes. As we move forward, we aim to further enhance our services and embrace technology to ensure the best possible experience for our clients. The sponsor portal that we are also initiating is also a big initiative for us, which is the basic integration of the work permit system with our visa systems. We are confident that these improvements will significantly benefit our clients and contribute to our country's growth and development.
The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Business Travel Card is one key function the Immigration and Citizenship Services Authority highlighted during the immigration conference recently. Deputy Chief Migration Officer, Visa and Passports Division, Clarence Parisau, stated the key roles of the authority to maintain an efficient and transparent authority. He shared that the phase of ICA is basically the service delivery branch, and the branch is driven by the organizational principle, such as resolving inquiries in a timely manner, at all times acting with integrity, honesty, accountability, and professionalism. He informed stakeholders and the clients that applying for ABTC is 400 kina and renewal is 300 kina.
The next important function of ICA that I want to talk about is the administration of the Asia Pacific Cooperation Travel Card, or ABTC. The ABTC scheme aims to facilitate ease of travel for bona fide business people, including senior company or board executives and directors, and senior government officials who travel frequently to an APEC economy for business purposes. The card provides access to fast entry and exit through dedicated lanes in major airports, seaports, in all participating economies. The card is a business visa in itself and is valid for 5 years. In November 2020, the virtual APEC business travel card was launched. Virtual ABTC was developed to allow card holders to securely display their ABTC on their mobile devices, removing the need to carry a physical ABTC.
TVWAN News continues after the break. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Enjoying life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Hot and talk, young or old, a scale-raised family meal with home. We'll bring out the smiles cause it's our favorite from us. Tennessee cola, scale rice, on scale price. Tennessee cola, scale rice, on scale price. Amber, you like it?
Hiya, Mama. You wait time, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magical cuddle, get up and big smile on face. Time for give chicken a great fumu too. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Magic, the taste PNG loves.
Open net.
Favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook, and with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier by you like you more.
It's going to be lights out right now. Here we go then. Great start from pole position. Oh, Sancho's crashed out of the lead. Jack Miller now is the leader into Stoke Corner, and for the first time in this Grand Prix. Oh, and that's Barry Pinales. An unbelievable late drama between Marc Marquez and Alex Rins at Silverstone. He was the dominant force.
Murray tied, and they're in again. That could be 6 more. Stripped by Bostock on the inside, and Cleo's over. Tyson Cleo, and we're underway. And Benji Cott is unstoppable. Later today, and the Dolphins are starting to open the game. Back to Moria. There's the hat trick. 3 magical tries.
Second.
Welcome back. The Media Council of Papua New Guinea says journalists and other media personnel who risk their lives every day in pursuit of the truth to inform citizens must be respected and protected. This follows the injuring of a broadcast journalist and her cameraman by a stray bullet fired during an eviction exercise at 9 Mile in Port Moresby on Wednesday. The bullet grazed the camera operator and entered into the right forearm of the female journalist. Both were part of a media contingent attending a PNG power event at the Edevu Hydro Dam. The event included a tour to Moitaka power plant where the incident occurred. Both were taken to hospital for treatment. The council stands ready to work with police and other law enforcement agencies on how media can be protected rather than getting caught in the crossfire. MP for Nipa Kutubu, Dr. Billy Joseph, is concerned at the level of unemployment in the country. After congratulating the new Minister for Labour, Cassie Sawang, on her appointment, Dr. Billy called for strategies to address the increasing unemployment rate in the country.
What people can do.
Nipa Kutubu MP Dr. Billy Joseph in Parliament today brought attention to the alarming rate of unemployment in the country and called for strategies to address it. Dr. Billy was equally concerned about job security, especially work that foreigners are doing that could easily be done by nationals.
As a leaders, I think that we should accept that there is a real crisis for jobs in our country. I would like to ask, what is her strategy to deal with this? I know it is not fair for her, she just came in. That is the question that I'm asking. The second question relates to some of our people in our country are complaining that jobs that our people can do are being taken over by foreigners. That is an urgent matter that I think that he should look into, and if that is a strategy that she's working on.
Minister for Labour, Cassie Sawang, said the government is addressing the unemployment issue by creating jobs through the construction phase of upcoming impact projects in the country's mineral resource sector. She said the government is aware of the challenges of high inflation alongside the alarming rate of unemployment. She further explained that the first task is to review the country's aging labor law.
Recently, the government has launched the Medium-Term Development Plan 4, and under the MTDP 4, the government has an ambitious but achievable plan of creating 1 million jobs by 2027. And the plan actually goes into in detail, where those jobs in its sectors will come from.
Minister Sawang said the government is also keen on job security.
Currently, there are about 41,000 jobs in the country that are in the hands of the foreigners, and one of my jobs is to ensure that 10,000 of that comes back to Papua New Guineans. And that's a big call, and I've already tasked my department secretary to put together a committee to look into that. But I want to assure this House and Papua New Guineans that the Marape Rosso government is very keen on taking back jobs in the hands of the foreigners and giving back to Papua New Guineans. So sem tokusin ba mitoko sem Mr. Acting Speaker something lo PNG must come back lo PNG.
Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
As the Anonga from Finchafan District is the only female provincial early childhood education mentor in Morobe Province. In partnership with the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Papua New Guinea, she and her colleagues wrote Morobe's early childhood curriculum in 2019.
Esther Anonga is from Kota LLG in Finchafan District. During the recent ECO seminar on conversion program held at Ampo, the headquarters of the Evangelical Lutheran Church of PNG, Anonga was introduced as the only female provincial early childhood education mentor in Morobe Province. Sponsored by the Australian Agency for International Development and the PNG government, she underwent a Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood program at the Queensland University of Technology. She commenced her studies in 2013 and graduated after 3 years. Her passion in educating PNG's young minds and grit that sees her walk long distances to teach and train teachers has seen her involvement in the compilation of an ECE curriculum for Lutheran-run schools. Some schools in Finchafen, under her leadership, have started using the ECE curriculum that she and her male colleagues authored in 2019.
In our curriculum, we wrote everything for ECE, like rhymes and poems and play activity, using the integrated things from the culture to the school. We all written all those things, the culture and mathematics, culture and community, it's like science, but that time we said science and technology. So now we will say science, emergent literacy, emergent science, emergent literacy. The word changed, but all the ideas were same.
The curriculum was written from 2019 to 2020. Anonga was part of the three-man team that wrote the first draft, then brought in all trainers with USAID's help and did the second draft. The third draft was written with support from the Kokoda Trek Foundation.
So then we invited Lutheran churches in Papua New Guinea to go and run the ECE program.
Anonga mentioned her mentor and author of PNG's first early childhood education book, Haring Koreka, who helped her with the curriculum. Their curriculum adopted ECE from other countries, but tailored it to fit PNG's landscape. Anonga stressed on the need for teachers to know their curriculum before proceeding to educate PNG's human resource. Salome Vincent, TVWAN News.
Over 2,000 people gathered in remote Pimaga village of Kutubu for the inauguration of the Literacy Library, a collaborative effort between Santos Foundation and Book Belong Pikinini. The project aims to revolutionize educational opportunities for children in Papua New Guinea's Hela, Gulf, and Southern Highlands provinces. The event was marked by jubilation as the community celebrated the library's potential to be a beacon of knowledge and enlightenment for young minds. The initiative includes a collection of books, teaching tools, and training for teachers, with plans to establish more libraries in the region for improved education and development. 32 youths from West New Britain province start inaugural youth leadership training program by SIED and Narrakine Way consultancies. The program started on July the 31st and ends tomorrow, August the 4th. Participants are engaging in a series of enriching activities designed to enhance their leadership skills and empower them to contribute positively to their communities. The Youth Leadership Training Program commenced with a two-day plenary session where presenters expounded on critical topics such as youth rehabilitation, good governance, youth employment programs, and business management. Heading to the immersive experience, 2 days of experimental study tours allowed the youth to witness firsthand how organizations operate and provided them with an opportunity to ask pertinent questions. This practical exposure aimed to equip them with a deeper understanding of how real-world challenges and solutions. On the final day of the program, participants will undergo coaching and mentorship sessions, offering valuable insights into writing proper letters, crafting simple proposal formats, and understanding budget cost for seeking assistance in executing small projects. Moreover, the youths will collaboratively identify and address critical issues affecting their respective communities, devising valuable solutions for a brighter future. The WNB Youth Leadership Program, initiated by SIED and Narrakine Web Consultancy, owes its success to the visionary organizers Diane Mirio and Siwa Matawe. As part of the Youth Development Program's profound impact, SIED and Narrakine we have successfully developed a comprehensive youth training manual and identified diverse youths to participate in the WNB Youth Leadership Training Program. Tracy Pa, TVWAN News. And now the finance news. The Kina closed unchanged at $0.2790 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our Kina was buying $0.2715 $0.4122 Australian dollars, $0.2404 euro, and 38.51 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee, cocoa, and palm oil closed higher, while gold, copper, crude oil, and copper closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, ASX closed lower and all ordinaries closed lower as well. You're watching TVWAN News. Stay tuned. We'll have news from overseas when we return.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bougainville.
From the rich soils of the highlands, the finest coffee has been grown by generations of Papua New Guineans. Expertly blended and roasted with over 80 years of experience, making the finest cup of Nescafe New Guinea blend, PNG's own coffee.
When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him all getter.
Whatever you need for your building and home improvements, we got you covered. Hardware House. We supply high-quality professional tools, plumbing and electrical supplies, homeware and outdoor products, paints, building materials and much more, all at affordable prices. And with our experienced staff, we will provide you with the right advice and help you need. So for all your building and home improvement needs, Bayuki Simware, Hardware House. Quality at affordable prices.
Check beautifully. Sinkinson as he got there. That's brilliant.
Now to Cripps. He's been busy to the square. And out the back, Petrocelli.
He's their leading goal scorer for the year and he kicks the first on a Saturday night. Oh, Lakey, well done.
Welcome back. Australia must prepare for devastating climate-fueled disruption in the Asia-Pacific, including failed states, forced migration, and regional conflicts over water shortages, a stark briefing for federal politician warns. The Breakthrough National Center for Climate Restoration think tank has summarized the potential threats and impacts of the climate crisis in a note targeted at MPs. In a paper to be released on Thursday, the think tank says the ONI report is likely to have said that the world is dangerously off track to meet the Paris Agreement goals. The risks are compounding and the impacts will be devastating in the coming decades. The paper says the Asia-Pacific region states will fail and climate impacts will drive political instability, greater national insecurity, and forced migration and fuel conflict. Professor Andy Pittman, director of the Australian Research Council Centre of Excellence for Climate Extremes at the University of New South Wales, agreed that tipping points needed to be considered. Contaminated stormwater can wreak havoc on marine environments, but a Tasmanian First project is working to fix that. Kingborough Council has installed a floating wetlands treatment system, harnessing the power of plants to help clean up stormwater.
These floating platforms behind me may not look like much, but they're actually helping clear up waterways in a populated Hobart suburb. But how do they actually work?
So we've got a gross pollutant trap that is underneath us now, which is stripping out your Coke bottles, your plastics, your straws. Then it's going in behind us.
It arrives here at the Kingston Stormwater Wetlands. Floating on top are 600 square metres of recycled plastic pontoons with plants growing on top. The platforms trap pollutants and other toxins before it flows through to creeks and other waterways. The vegetation also absorbs excess nutrients, which are a common cause of aquatic weed, algae and sludge.
And what we're doing by removing this pollution and this phosphorus and nitrogen is we're stopping harmful things like algae blooms, for example, which will bring the fish back into this area.
We're very excited about this because it is 300% more efficient than traditional wetlands.
These floating wetlands are also helping protect the natural habitat of native plants and wildlife in the area.
We've already got some ducks and other bird life that are hanging around here.
Future-proofing water treatment systems for growing communities.
A halt on companies digging up the deep seabed for valuable metals is now a real possibility after governments agreed to put it on the agenda for international talks this time next year. It's the first time this proposal will be formally discussed at the UN international body. For the past 3 weeks, governments gathered in Kingston, Jamaica, at a little-known UN agency called the International Seabed Authority to discuss a moratorium on mining on the deep seabed in the international waters. No companies are currently carrying out such projects yet. A coalition of nations pushed for a ban to be placed on the agenda, but were opposed by Mexico, Nauru, and most persistently by China. Towards the end of the meeting, though, they won a concession agreeing that it be put provisionally on the agenda next year. New data paints a distressing picture of the deterioration in the mental health of homeless children and teenagers. Melbourne City Mission says up to 70% of young people accessing its services has had a mental health crisis so severe it resulted in presentation to a hospital emergency department.
Knitting is one way 19-year-old Ollie is keeping the threads of his life together.
This one is going to be a sort of cardigan type of thing.
Ollie, who does not want to be identified, became homeless aged just 16. While couch surfing and living in transitional housing, he was admitted to hospital emergency departments at least 10 times.
I was struggling with some substance abuse issues. I was struggling with my mental health quite a lot, and not having a comfortable place to call home and go back to each day was definitely exacerbating that.
Victoria's biggest youth homelessness provider says up to 70% of 16 to 24-year-olds who used their services experienced a mental health episode. Many were so severe they ended up in hospital.
Most of them are escaping family violence.
Melbourne City Mission's Front Yard Crisis Accommodation is a home for young people with nowhere else to go. But it's a short-term solution.
Usually accommodation is provided for 6 to 12 weeks with a focus on securing housing. Now housing is not available.
More than 122,000 Australians were homeless at the last census. Nearly a quarter of those were aged between 12 and 24. Advocates say this group has complex needs which aren't being met.
We're living through the worst youth mental health crisis in history. It's heading south.
The Victorian government says it's invested more than $6 billion in mental health in the last 3 years and is working on a housing statement. Ollie now has a job and a home.
Adjusting to being a quote-unquote regular young adult.
Raising hopes for others still suffering.
Artificial intelligence experts are warning of potential large-scale job losses in Australia if people don't keep up with the evolving technology. The greatest minds in the field gathered at a conference in Perth to discuss what the future looks like as AI kickstarts a technological revolution.
It is my absolute pleasure to welcome everyone here today to the 2023 WA Data Science Innovation Hub AI Conference.
While Barack Obama wasn't actually in Perth, this voice generator demonstrates the growing power of artificial intelligence. Experts say the technology will not only revolutionise industries, but it's already taking over everyday tasks.
This means when you come home, you open the door, you say, turn the lights on, adjust the temperature. What's on? Did my footy team win today?
Western Australia's mining industry has been using AI to enhance operations for years, including driverless vehicles and the operation of dangerous equipment.
This will enable WA to maintain its preeminent position globally as a resource sector, especially in elements and minerals where they're crucial for this transition towards net zero in 2050.
But experts warn those who don't get on board risk being left behind.
Will more jobs be created than destroyed? No one knows the answer to that question. But I think it's very clear that certain jobs will be transformed, certain jobs will be created, and certain jobs might be destroyed. The people who learn how to use the technology are probably going to be the people who replace the people who don't learn how to use the technology.
And while some may fear the unknown, others are remaining largely optimistic.
I think there's far more upside than downside. We have to be mindful of the downside, but if we harness the upside, it will change the world.
A change many may not be entirely ready for.
Back home, the governments of Papua New Guinea and the autonomous region of Bougainville are seeking to understand each other's perspective on the sought-after independence of Bougainville. Prime Minister James Marape reaffirms the contrasting terms of independence between constitutions of both governments, terms that need to be reconciled.
Prime Minister Marape says the government of Papua New Guinea will continue to work with the autonomous Bougainville government towards finding common ground in terms of achieving each other's desired outcomes.
Look from their lens, and we also have asked them to look from our lens. Our lens is that Constitution doesn't allow for independence, and we want total unity. Their lens is that their Constitution allowed for referendum to take place, of which independence was an issue. They voted for independence. They want to go. We have to reconcile these 2 points. And the wisdom of the 2001 peace agreement was such where Parliament will make the final decision on this matter, and it will take place through the process of vote.
The Prime Minister says that in his term of leadership, the PNG government has supported the government and people of Bougainville.
I want to also assure people of Bougainville, in the last 2 or 3 or 4 years, under my watch, we've given them more resources to get Bougainville up and running, including deciding on 621 million kina as what was defined constitutionally, what we owe to them. Never paid before. We agreed, and under our watch, Treasurer Yenling Saki and Finance Minister, the Honourable Rainbow Paita, have been clearing out some of these obligations to them, and I will give a full report to Parliament next week on how much we've given them to get going in as far as developing the infrastructure and building up the economy is concerned.
Meantime, Prime Minister Marape says Cabinet has approved 12 million kina to go towards supporting more than 3,000 people in Torokina district in Bougainville due to the recent moderate volcanic eruption that caused significant ashfall.
A disaster has taken place in terms of that volcano. Cabinet has approved 12 million kina in the first instance to address the 3,000 people or so who have been displaced. But I want to also acknowledge today as I speak, PNG Navy has for the first time, Navy boat, for the first time is now entering Buka Passes. It has never happened since 2001.
Maricela Kelleton, TV1 News.
Meantime, Chief of Defence Force Major General Mark Goyna says the PNGDF is supporting disaster efforts in the autonomous region of Bougainville.
In terms of our contribution to the
HADR response to the people of Torokina and the surrounding villages. I want to make it very clear that we are supporting the National Disaster Center. We are not a lead agency, so I just want to make it very, very clear. Our contribution to that effort is by way of provision of LCH, transporting relief supplies from Rabaul across to Boca, and right now as I speak, they are on their way back. We'll go all the way down to Ley to pick up the relief supplies that have been provided by the people of Australia, and then sail to Rabaul and Rabaul back to Boca.
Teachers need to be well trained if they are to effectively educate PNG's human resource. Moreba's early childhood education mentor Esther Anonga appealed to the government to invest in the upskilling and in service of teachers.
The human resource of a country is important, and since teachers play a direct role in their development, they need to be well trained. Morbe Province's only female early childhood education mentor, Esther Anonga, appealed to the government to invest in the upskilling and in service of teachers.
The teachers must know the curriculum before they teach. Without curriculum, I don't think people will know the right thing to do, and they must understand how to utilize it, the skills and strategies, the concepts and ideas especially. Teachers must be trained. Our government of the day should provide support so that teachers will be well trained, so that they may know the curriculum well. Today, most of our bush schools, they don't have curriculum. Some of them are using the materials from the bush, and this is one of the biggest problems that we don't achieve our goal in Papua New Guinea.
Anonga, who hails from Finchafen's Kote LLG, is passionate about early childhood education. Equipped with a degree from the Queensland University of Technology, she joined a group of like-minded individuals to write an ECE curriculum for the Evangelical Lutheran Church of PNG. With over 4 decades of experience in the field, she has gone to remote and forgotten areas that even the curriculum materials do not reach. She outlined that quality early childhood education gives a child the best start in life, and for that to be possible, quality teachers are needed.
Then we will see the change in Papua New Guinea in 2050.
Mary Silla Kelleton, TV1 News.
The Papua New Guinea Defence Force has concluded its investigation into the tragic incident that occurred in Kupiano, Central Province, on July the 4th, where the lives of 2 serving members of PNGDF were lost and 3 others left wounded.
In a press conference today, PNG Defence Force Commander Major General Mark Goina announced the suspension of about 10 members of the PNG Defence Force who were in charge of the final assessed exercise for the corporal qualifying course that took place in Kupiano, Central Province. Commander Goina says those suspended with pay include the unit commander, training coordinator, the regimental sergeant major, staff from the infantry wing, and course manager.
The investigation has revealed that right from the start and before the exercise, our established procedures and processes were not followed. The personnel entrusted to perform their duties and responsibilities in relation to the conduct of corporal qualifying course, final exercise, to some extent failed to do their job or responsibilities effectively. The lapse in adhering to the PNGDF set procedures and processes for the conduct of any field activity, in this case, the field exercise in Kupiano, has contributed both indirectly and directly to the tragic incident.
Commander Goina says 3 suspects have been identified and will be tried in a court of military discipline before the Royal PNG Constabulary take over and utilize the criminal code. The identities of the suspects are currently being withheld. It is revealed that 1 person allegedly caused both deaths.
The post-mortem was conducted on the deceased members. The result of the post-mortems are consistent with the manner and how they sustained those fatal injuries resulting in instant death. Basically, both late members were being hit by a high-velocity round of bullet fired in close range, less than 40 meters during the activity. Again, the live ammunition is not supposed to be used in that field exercise. The discharging or firing of the live rounds or ammunition during training activity, the platoon attack has been confirmed by the investigation to have been done by one person only.
Commander Goina says an independent board of inquiry separate from the PNGDF will examine the conduct of this particular training. Maricela Kelleton, TVWAN News.
Furthermore, Commander Goina says he has met with the families of the late leading seamen Eric Gwale and Corporal Watata Kutegen to hear grievances and work towards forging a way forward through this time of great difficulty and sorrow.
The families of the both deceased have returned to me and expressed their concern around that. As you're aware, when it comes to compensation, that falls under the Labor Department. So we will assist the families by writing to the Labor Department to look at the compensation aspect of it. We understand that they're beyond loved ones that are very, very small, and we will see to it that is a appropriate compensation is given to them. At this point in time, I cannot be able to tell you exactly how much, because this is the first time that this happened to us. So we will sit with our counterparts with the Department of Labor and work out those details with them. But I would like to say here that they must be properly compensated by the state, given the fact that they died during a exercise which was meant to be meant to see black ammunition being used.
And that ends the news segment. Sports is next. Stay with us.
It's in the highs and in the lows. It's in the big things and the small things too. It's hard to put into words, but you'll know it when you see it. Terrain tamer, when quality counts.
Chef Scott Laseth is cooking up the world's creepiest critters.
You with me? No.
Iguana, hagfish, and wild boar are just some of the items in this season's menu.
Let's eat. And eat. And eat. It's nothing like you've had anywhere.
Hey, dead meat!
Dead meat. An all-new season. Coming soon on Outdoor.
Through the Community Grants Program, civil society organizations can apply for grants of up to 50,000 kina, which are focused on delivering development projects in line with our funding priorities. Applications are now open. Applications close in September 2023 at 5 p.m. For more information, visit foundation.digitalpacific.com.
leopards, bison, cheetahs, and more.
Ideally, all of these animals roaming freely would paint a beautiful picture. However, human progress won't allow that. The next best thing is to give them value.
Join Dan Cabela as he sets out on an international journey of discovery within the world of conservation.
There is no one-size-fits-all solution, and science is the best hope to find answers for their survival.
Hard Truths of Conservation, streaming now on Outdoor.
When I first moved to LA, signs on all the doors said, no actors or dogs allowed. I changed that.
And now, y'all ready for something different? Whoa!
Babylon premieres Saturday, August 5th, 10 p.m. on HBO.
Welcome back. The PNG Barramundis are currently taking part in the CDU Men's Top Hand T20 Series 2023 in Darwin, the capital city of Northern Territory of Australia. Organised by the Northern Territory Cricket, as many as 6 teams competing in a total of 16 matches across 8 days. ACT commands Melbourne Renegades Academy, Melbourne Stars Academy and T Strait, Pakistan Hay and Papua New Guinea are the 6 teams featured in the CDU Men's Top Hand T20 Series 2023. Pakistan Shaheen's or Hay team and Papua New Guinea are the 2 overseas competing in the T20 tournament, while Australia Capital Territory commands making their debut in the competition. As per the CDU Men's Top Hand T20 Series 2023 schedule, each team will play the other sides once in a round-robin format. The top 2 teams in the standing after all the league matches will qualify for the final. The CDU Men's Top Hand T20 Series 2023 final is scheduled to be played at the Marara Cricket Ground on August 6. Meanwhile, PNG Barramundis are looking to bounce back from their first tournament loss as they head into Match 3 of the 2023 CDU Northern Territory Cricket Top Hand T20 Series in Darwin, Australia. Awaiting them is another Big Bash League franchise in the Melbourne Renegades Academy. Both sides are sitting at 1 win and 1 lost from 2 matches, so a result in today's match is critical for securing a top 2 finish and qualifying for the tournament finals. Ishni Britain Hagmark Guria is thrilled to welcome on board Boroko Motors as one of its proud major sponsors for the next 3 years. The deal, a first of its kind for a reputable car company, is commendable and a timely boost for the team's campaign for finals contention again this year.
The sponsorship deal to the Eastern Britain Agmark Couriers from Boroko Motors comes with discounts on 2 vehicles and free servicing for the duration of 3 years. The favourable deal agreement was initially done between Boroko Motors Kokopo dealer principal Tony Brewer and Agmark Group Managing Director Stephen Nightingale before the couriers took delivery of the 2 vehicles on Wednesday this week. Mr. Nightingale said initial discussions started after Mr. Brewer attended a couriers game and realized he wanted to come on board and partner with a well-known provincial and PNG brand. The support of the new vehicles means the club has safe and more reliable vehicles that would greatly assist the team with transport to and from training on game day and other community engagements. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Hengoram District in his Sepik Province has vowed to use sport as a tool for social development. Recently appointed District Sports Coordinator Nolan Gumahim shared his statement after he was tasked to assemble a team for the upcoming Momase Regional Youth Games to be hosted by Madang District. Mr. Guhamim, who is being supported by General Team Manager Edmund Tupu and local MP Salio Waipo, has been
working tirelessly with district youths to coordinate preparation. Through sports, he is hoping to see that the mindset of the youths in district transformed and illicit activities minimized in and around the 158 wards. Gumahim would like to connect sports with agriculture, religion, education, or any other government or NGO intervention programs that will improve their quality of life. The Northern Pride has announced head coach Tay Williams has decided to step away from the game after an illustrious 23 career encompassing both playing and coaching. Throughout his tenure as a player and coach, Williams will see out the remainder of the 2023 season as the Pride push for this year's final series has been an integral part of the club and has impacted on the Pride's history and rugby league has been enormous. From these early days as a talented player at the North Queensland Cowboys to his transition into coach, Williams has exemplified the true spirit of the game and has been an inspiration to players and fans alike. Under Williams' guidance, the Northern Pride has achieved remarkable successes with notable accomplishments and memorable moments etched into the history of the club. This ends the sports segment, and now the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. And that wraps up the news tonight. Pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.